As you near the end of due diligence, you'll want to start drafting closing documents. Now, these documents are the deal. Very important. Now, one of the main documents you're going to have is called a share purchase agreement, or it could be an asset purchase agreement. This is the main agreement between you and the seller that outlines everything that's been agreed, including the purchase price and how that price is being paid. You're also going to want to have documents such as board minutes, if they're a limited company, that formalizes that the seller has decided to sell their business to you. You will also have things like share transfer forms so that the seller can transfer their shares to you, the buyer. And there will be other things like certificate indemnities. So these are things where the seller is agreeing and confirming that they have the right to sell their business. They are the legal owners. And there will also be documents such as a letter of resignation. So if they're directors of their limited companies and they're selling you the limited company, then they need to resign as a director and walk away from their rights. So there's no comeback on you as a buyer. Choosing a lawyer to have these documents drafted is a very key part of the process. You can do legals yourself, but I wouldn't advise it for your earliest deals. When you have a bit more experience under your belt, maybe, but you want to be working with a lawyer. Now, the good thing about this is that the cost of getting these documents are quite low. Like, we're not talking thousands and thousands here, but if you're at this stage and you're very seriously going to buy this business, which indicates you are if you're getting closing documents done, then you can have the business that you're buying pay for these documents. So you don't have to be taking this money out of your own pocket. Now, the last thing we do as part of preparing for closing is we have a handover checklist. So we send this to the seller prior to closing, and it's a very detailed checklist. It's normally on Excel, and we break down exactly what we want the seller to hand over. Very detailed. So with the closing documents to hand, we set a closing meeting. This is where we agree a location and date to close the deal with the seller. With the seller on the day, you go through the closing documents and you make any final changes prior to signing. Once the deal has been signed, we then start to look at handover. Now, typically, signing the deal, all the small talk around it takes 1 to 2 hours. It's quite quickly. But the handover and going through the handover checklist normally takes longer. This can take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. And this is where you're getting the seller to give you things like bank cards, website passwords, bank mandates, so that the banks can be updated to your name. There's a lot of detail to go through here. Like, let's remember, we're buying a business. But when you get to this stage, you can really sit back and congratulate yourself, because if you're here, then you've just bought a business.